February funding goal, guys. Thank you guys so much. For anybody who wants to contribute tonight to, although we did raise the money for February, all this other stuff was not in the plan. So if you guys want to help out with lodging tonight up in San Diego to get me down there, it'll be greatly appreciated. I like to get down to San Diego tonight and then stay there, wake up in the morning, go down to the border. We know it happens at 4 or 5 in the morning. No, I am not out of here. We'll be out here until this is over. And then from there, we'll go sleep somewhere and try to get to San Diego tomorrow morning. This is not going to end peaceful tonight, guys. Trust me, there's a lot of people drinking out here, which alcohol emotions do not mix well together. This is the third, right? This is the third, fourth. I could be off all week from work. I have enough hours set up, so if I go down to San Diego, come back here. Emma, thank you. I want to move from here, guys. We have some type of service here. I would love to be in the mix of everything, but I want to risk losing signal and so forth. Bobby Rogers, thank you. My channel's not monetized, guys. So if you guys watch ads, that's because maybe the content we're doing right now is high demand. So many people streaming out here, so they're trying to make their money. They can keep their money. So welcome everybody. We're here on the overpass. It has to be over in the thousands, guys. There's people. I wish I could move the phone around, which I want to risk moving the phone around, but it has to be in the thousands now out here. All the way around. At least over 1,000. A beer bottle or beer can, but it went pretty much skinned the top of my head, the top of the helmet. Freeze, thank you. So I moved the camera to the left a little bit and that signal dropped big time. So he tagged the school bus, guys. I don't know how. What's the point of that? If his kid doesn't go to a school, I might even be his kid's school bus. They're tagging the school bus. It's still daylight, guys. What caught my attention today, those revolution people are out here. They usually hang out with Antifa and all the same people that run the BLM protests and so forth. Last time they showed up with all those group of people, the protest got hijacked by BLM, got hijacked by Antifa, and it got pretty bad. You're good, bro. What am I doing in your hood? Trying to eat a hot dog. I see the people for ref comp. No, I did not, but it's usually the same thing, always calling for revolution. Starts after skin eventually when I'm buffering a lot here now. Maybe I should.
Hey, did you know you might get a big cash payout if you were in a car accident in the last year? Yep, even if you weren't driving. Just click the link around this video to see how much you can get. You answer
the first few minutes. They were marching through the neighborhoods in Phoenix. We're going to get that up in a second. Doesn't look like it was a massive group, but it was a few hundred. Phoenix. This is Phoenix. This stream just ended a little bit ago. But we'll show you what's going on in Phoenix.
This is Phoenix.
Oh, what happened to it? Where'd it go? Here we go. Phoenix, Arizona. So took the streets in Phoenix. It's a pretty big crowd, right? Phoenix. Fox 11 choppers flying away to a new location. For people that are coming in the chat, this was just a little bit ago in Phoenix. So they've done protesting in Phoenix. ABC 10 said that protesters have shut down a portion of Interstate 5. So I got a clip here. This just happened too, just a few minutes ago. In Chicano Park. Chicano Park. So I'm going to show you something else that just happened too. They literally Interstate 5, Chicano Park. They shut it down. We'll get that up shortly. What a bunch of idiots. Why would somebody walk along I-5? Look. The guy's literally in the middle of the interstate, waving a Mexican flag in the middle of the interstate while cars are zooming past. Shut everything down. This is down by National City, Chula Vista, right? San Diego area. This just happened. Looks like police were on there too, blocking up. Probably no one got arrested here, right? Walking along the interstate. What's going on here? I mean, come on, that's crazy. Walking along the interstate? It's insane, folks. Looks like a group of about 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They got a banner. 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 25, about 30. Guy's riding a bike in the middle of the interstate. And he's popping wheelies. They're going up the ramp. We'll wait and see if the other feed comes back. Crazy times, man. Chula Vista, National City. Yeah, I'm not so sure this chopper comes back out at night. The ones that left Los Angeles. I don't think they come back. So that's the scene there. The IRT one keeps spinning. We're just seeing if we got any additional feeds, particularly Los Angeles. I think the yeah. All right, so we don't know what's going on at that scene there, but mainstream media has left. So there's other streamers going there. But if mainstream media comes back with a chopper, we'll come back. And if something's going on, we'll be back. We are covering these events all around the country. We cover the border. And anything else that breaks, we're going to talk about security in New Orleans and different things up on our in the next day. So stay tuned for that. We're going to sign off because I don't see any additional feeds. This was this comes to an end. I don't believe anyone gets arrested, but we're just sharing what people are doing. We're just sharing what people are doing. So if a new feed comes up in one of these mainstream media in the sky overlooking LA, we'll come back on. Other than that, we will be back if anything else breaks. We're covering true crime and breaking news in real time. So appreciate the follow today and stay tuned. Be back later. JLR investigates. Stay safe out there, my friends. Stay vigilant. We'll talk soon.
You arrived in the older model gray Honda. Before you have the other one, this 1989 12750 slowly and in our consciousness negative your night. Code 4. Broadway, no Broadway, no 7 Winter,
Dejaron de pisotear a la raza ya,
Cedar Boulevard, East LA, the Nike shop. Currently on 40 years and still on the Cedar Boulevard. Take it in the front of my good. Problem solving the pain. Metal object, most of your metal parts, range. 1409, 1013 Los Angeles. That's 1409, 1013 Los Angeles. Further to follow, text 177. Until unit corresponding to 111. Ground check report.
So for those of you just tuning in right now, we're out here in Main Street. As soon as you pass Alameda Street, this protest has been split up into multiple groups now. There is LAPD, CHP, sheriff out here, half boxed in. Several groups. There's some on Ceja Chava. There's some on Spring Street. There is some over by Los Angeles Street. The protest that was over 1,000 people has been split down to groups of hundreds and up from 100 to 200 people. They might be pushing forward right now, guys. The other groups down here as well. We have another police line up there holding that group back. I think they're trying to get the crowd to disperse by putting them down in smaller groups. I don't think they're going to start arresting nobody just yet, guys. There's way too many of them. They start arresting, this could get out of control, and it's not good for LAPD, CHP, and all the other officers. They're outnumbered at least 7 to 1, 8 to 1. They're gonna push forward here, guys. They have lined up here, and at any moment they're gonna start pushing this group back out right here. Here they come.
out of Las Vegas, brown over brown, 513, 24 pounds.
There we go.
Non-commercial valid.
There they go. I'm going to go around and try to get them off. So there is people running into the parking lot here. There is a parking lot up front here. People have started running, and they're going to start pushing forward. Here we come, guys. Let it go running. They're going to block the parking lot, guys. They're trying to block the parking lot. That way people won't go all the way around and get behind them again. That's what happened when they pushed this way. People were able to walk around them through the parking lot and get at behind them. Mexico, puto!
Highway from Ambulance. Highway from Ambulance. Blue Park. Going left.
They want them to go this way because they don't have officers on this side, guys. So they're trying to push them down Alameda Street. They're trying to get them to go south on Alameda Street. They have officers blocking the north side of the Alameda Street on Main Street. They have officers pushing down this way and officers on this other side. That way they won't be able to get back on the overpass. So I think they're going to go the same route they took yesterday. They're going to try to push them all over to Alameda Street overpass and then onto the Cesar Chavez. Just the same route they pushed everybody out yesterday. Eventually, yep. Try to get some signal back here, guys. So they're down here. Get down here. Sorry for the video quality, guys. I had to drop it to 480 just to try to stream. If we get over to Alameda Street overpass and they get pushed down that way, I am going to end the stream and restart it real quick to go back to that 1080. Because yesterday it was great over there. Careful. He's trying to get out of here. Yeah, guys, low quality right now due to the fact that there was no bandwidth earlier. Here we start going down to the other side. We'll go back to the 1080 from yesterday.
Now 911 ends, Bellflower Boulevard, and Park Street. Amendment.
Here comes more officers in this way, guys.
mention rapists and criminals, they're not going to shrivel down and say, oh no, we don't want anything to do with Mexico. We are proud of our Mexican flag, and that's why we are flying it. It doesn't mean that they want to go back to Mexico to live there. That is not what they have expressed to me. So I hope that answers some of the questions that you had while you were discussing that issue. But again, this is, that has been declared an unlawful assembly, and LAPD wants everybody to disperse and go home. It has been a demonstration that has taken place all day long. And at this point, at night, some of the troublemakers come out. I didn't see the vehicles that were doing donuts earlier that you were describing. I haven't seen it at least in this particular area, and we are at Aliso and Maine. But obviously that's going on in other parts. And when that takes over, it's just impossible to control. And that is why the LAPD wants to make sure that everyone stays safe. There were no problems earlier in the day. They were not telling anybody to disperse. They let everybody express their views. And that's just the way it's been. So at this point, you can see all of the LAPD officers here. Everyone is just standing, just sending the message. It's time to go home.
And Gina, I just want to clarify what I was saying earlier about the flags. I just have looked at focus groups and talked to strategists over the years who have compared, if you look at sort of middle of the road voters looking at a protest, and if the protest has a bunch of American flags versus a bunch of Mexican flags, which we've seen in certain the May Day protests in the past, that the protests with the American flags do better with
Absolutely.
Independent voters in the middle.
I disagree with you.
I'm just saying in terms of the data.
I'm explaining. Yeah. No, I understand that. And I see it all over social media. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? I'm simply explaining to you what has.
Right. No, I appreciate that.
What they expressed to me.
No, which I totally appreciate the context and the point that protester was making of don't bite the hand that feeds you is true. You think about where most of the food of this country comes from, not only farms in the Central Valley and in places like Ventura County, but then you also think of so many of the people that work in the restaurant industry in the back of the house. So much of the food of the United States, especially Southern California, comes from immigrants working on it every day.
And not just the food industry. You think about labor in the construction industry, which, of course, the wildfires, and we have thousands of homes that are going to need to be rebuilt. So labor comes into play there. I want to bring into the conversation Jim Helmold. He's a retired LASD chief of special operations. Jim, good to have you. No doubt that you have worked these unlawful assembly lines before. LAPD seems to be doing, an efficient job in dispersing the crowd. Your take on it?
Yeah, LAPD has assembled all of the resources, which is extremely important before taking action. Of course, with the top priority is going to be protection of life and property. So they're taking all precautions. You see people that are equipped and geared up, and obviously we'll also have contingencies such as LA County Sheriff's Department buses should the crowd become more disruptive. The problem with having large crowds of this nature is not the fact that everyone has a right to speak their mind, and that's a constitutional right that everybody in America respects. When you have crowds this size, you often have agitators, as we saw in the 2020 riots, and so even if you have an overwhelming number of people who are there with good intentions and want to keep the peace, oftentimes agitators come into the mix, and the crowd psychology is often disrupted by that, as you saw, for example, with the person and their very dangerous maneuvers on a vehicle. Things like that are extremely dangerous.
So what's the strategy now for the law enforcement that's out there? If you were out there, what's going through your mind?
Well, obviously at the command posts, they're getting updates from all of the respective area quadrant commanders to see if there's any disruptions in safety. One thing to take into consideration is everyone has a right to open movement of public spaces. So if there's organizers of this movement as well, they should keep that in mind, the mutual respect. You see them disrupting large streets. There's no reason they can't move over to the sidewalk. And especially during rush hour times, this is disruptive to people's way of life, and it can impede in safety again when agitators get involved. And so right now, they're trying to keep the emotions away from any actions, and that's what I've been very impressed thus far by the frontline staff of LAPD and the assisting units you also see from Highway Patrol. And undoubtedly, LA County Sheriff's Department is on standby if there's resources needed in the event that some of the crowd, there needs to be a next level of action.
And Jim, they learned from yesterday as well, given that hundreds, maybe thousands of those protesters made their way onto the 101 and shut it down yesterday afternoon on a Sunday. And LAPD today, they cut off access to the 101.
And that was a smart move, not only for the safety of the general public, but also for those who are protesting. They often get emotionally involved, and it's up to law enforcement professionals to be dispassionate about their strategies and make sure that they're taking into account safety of everyone involved. Also, something to take into consideration is you can disperse a crowd, but where exactly are you going to disperse them from? Los Angeles is a vast area, and if you disperse them from one area, you're going to disperse them into another area. So that's what undoubtedly LAPD commanders are coordinating behind the scenes at the command post, so that it's methodical, it's systematic, and then there's a place to divert in several areas these people so they don't just disrupt another part of the city.
So we're now looking at protesters moving past the Museum of Contemporary Art, which is in downtown Los Angeles. Jim, can you talk about some of because I remember being on the air and broadcasting as we saw protesters in the streets in 2020 during the George Floyd protests. Some of the lessons learned from that, what went well, what didn't go well, that now law enforcement is thinking about in this moment.
Well, there are a lot of takeaways that we experienced. For example, when the crowds were allowed to become increasingly violent, and again, I believe that it was mainly by purposeful agitators, and that's a whole nother side story we won't get into now, unless you want to at another time, depending on how long this goes. But what I'm attempting to say is that you have to take out those agitators. You have to control the crowd. As the emotions got built up, unfortunately, a mob mentality starts to grow when agitators are not removed from trouble. And that's what we saw in 2020 in certain areas. To be more specific, there were some cities, and I know this because we sent LA County Sheriff's personnel to some of these areas. In the cities that wanted us to stand down and not disperse the crowds when there was actual looting and rioting, those cities experienced more looting and rioting. And those who dispersed it, they went into other areas. So there is communication among these agitators, and you cannot let a mob mentality grow and get out of control.
What are your thoughts now, given it seems the crowd has gotten significantly smaller, at least from Sky Fox's perspective, and they are just sort of marching along here. I haven't seen, the skirmishes that we were seeing before. Now it just is almost a parade of these anti-ICE protesters making their way down.
Yes, and I think this is all part of the plan that's being put together. And kudos, we know the LAPD chief, Jim McDonald, who was also the sheriff at one point in time. He's been around the block, as he would say, joking. He's a friend. He's been around the block a few times, and so he has seen these type of activities. I know that he's telling his commanders likely exactly what we discussed, which is we're going to respect the constitutional right of free speech, but we cannot allow it to rile out of control, and we cannot let agitators control what some people might have good intentions for. So I think what you're seeing is a dispersal into several different areas. If you look at the crowd, yes, there are large areas walking through different parts of the city, but I also noticed that they're separated into several sections. And he has the ability to call in more resources to control those crowds and make sure that they're spread out and not causing disruptions.
Yeah, and it looks like things are in a better place now than they were maybe 45 minutes ago as this crowd.
Are you kidding me?
Looks like it's doing so relatively peacefully, at least.
This isn't peaceful.
There are other crowds on the move in other places that have been separated out. As we also have Hal Kempfer with us, the global security expert who's been a part of this in the past. And Hal, you mentioned this, but I'm thinking it is the strategy that if you're in law enforcement in this situation, you would rather the crowd leave on its own than having to get involved in arrests or frankly bad images of you moving in that could be used against you in social media, right? I mean, the preference is peter out on your own.
Absolutely. In fact, what you see with the movement of the crowd right now is, a number of them are going to get tired. And that is an old technique, is get the crowd moving. And when the crowd moves over time, particularly if you can get them going up hills, they'll get tired, more tired faster. But you get them moving, and eventually, it's night. A number of them out there are, if you looked at the crowd, assess the crowd at the beginning, a number of them out there were just, regular citizens from the community. It wasn't a preponderance of young, physically fit people that were maybe looking to do something more confrontational. A lot of them are probably saying, look, we've been out here all day. It's time to go home. And so as they walk, you'll often see where they will just kind of, onesies, twosies, or whatever, kind of just dissipate and go back to wherever they parked and they head home. And I think that's what you're looking at here. The other thing, too, which I don't know if this is LAPD guiding them this direction, but they do seem to be going into areas where they can basically cause, shall we say, less mischief, areas where it's lower profile, and areas where there really isn't much that they can do, and that may be intentional as well.
If a man really hated ads, here's what he would do. Day 1. He would install Pi on his computer without spending a dime because it's 100% free. Day 2. He realizes how clean and clutter-free his browsing experience has been since he got Pi. He doesn't have to deal with annoying cookie pop-ups or targeted ads. Day 3. He can finally binge YouTube and Twitch without interruption because Pi works on every website you visit on Chrome. Day 4. He discovers...
How does that work?
Well, I think they may be actually guiding them. I'm not sure, but there may be something where it depends on how you deploy your personnel. But you can put personnel where you kind of almost create like a route that they have to go through, right? Which is if they go straight, they're going to run right into you. Oh, but I can go left or wherever. And they will move that direction. And that looks to be some of the techniques. I really can't tell from the helicopter shot if that is, because first off, it's starting to get dark, so I can't see as clearly who's on the street per se. But that's a time-proven technique. Is you just basically you channel them into a particular direction and move them. And what will happen is now they're walking, they're full of energy, but they're probably, and you've noted this already, there seems to be less of them there than they were when they started. And the longer they walk, particularly at night, particularly as it's getting colder, the tougher it is. The other thing I don't see, too, is, and we would see this with some protests, is they would actually have logistics vehicles. Yeah. You would sometimes see where they would have a vehicle set up that would have water or other things that people need. I don't see those vehicles, and it could very well be that there was one at some point, and that the LAPD found a way to separate the crowd from the vehicles. That's also a time-proven technique. And when they don't have access to water or other things like that, again, the crowd will tend to dissipate over time because they get thirsty, they get tired, and a lot of them say, okay, it's enough. I've done enough today.
And at some point, they got to get back to wherever their cars are if they drove there as well, because now we're moving in the other direction. Hal, thank you for your perspective. We're going to sneak in a quick commercial break. We'll have more on this and the rest of the day's news right after this.
All right, we're just in there to our Fox 11 team as they were diving into these latest protests there in Los Angeles.
We're going to get another feed up right here.
They're a local
because it's still going on down there by the 101.
But no,
it's still going on.
Yeah, so Christy Fajardo, I don't want to put.
So it's still going on. This is live right here. So there's different crowds that went over, but for that media outlet to say that it's peaceful is ridiculous. This has been declared an unlawful assembly. There has been crime across the board. We don't know to the extent. And the crowd's not leaving in this particular area. There's still hundreds there. This is still going on. So what in the world is going on here, people? Los Angeles, California, as we monitor this unlawful assembly that has been declared. Lots of traffic coming through there. Gives you an outside perspective. Beautiful out there. Beautiful. Our feed went away. Our feed went away. Let's see. See what we got in Los Angeles still. Here, I'm going to give you the ABC clip, Magnolia. Stay with us, folks. We got another one coming up. 1 second.
Okay, by 7, after the 7 o'clock hit, we're gonna have to take a break because I need to use the bathroom. It's like 5:30.
They got police all in the streets here. Unlawful assembly has been declared.
We're trying to find a bathroom while we're going to do the live picture, like on Google Maps, like supermarkets or Ralph's or Whole Foods. Because I gotta go too.
So, folks, this is the second day in a row they've been protesting. Going to look at the other feeds and see if there's any interesting what exactly is happening here. The police have seemed like they've taken the streets back and dispersed the crowd in multiple locations, though it seems like they're still in this general location here, the 101, downtown Los Angeles. JLR investigates. What a wild day, huh? Second day in a row. Something tells me they'll be back out tomorrow again. But you could see there's still lots of people out there not leaving, refusing to leave.
Bathroom? Bathroom, we're done. For real? They said top at 6:30.
ABC7 reporter.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Here?
Are you willing to? Are you leaving because of the dispersal order?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been here today?
Since 4 p.m.
Okay. Is this something you're so passionate about you'd be willing to go to jail for, I guess? Maybe.
I would, but I don't.
All right, that one rocked off, so we're gonna move. We're gonna go to what else we got, Magnolia?
Break free with the new Opera GX, a browser that puts you in control with a brand new design that frees up even more pixels for personalization and an inventory of features to up your game at every level. Like GX Control to help rein in.
I'm gonna go back to the IRT. Okay, here we go. Back at we're doing the different feeds. Dispersal order given. All right, let me see here, folks. Give me 1 second. Look up something here. Yeah, it doesn't look like any more except grassroots people, but it seems like this the situation they dispersed the crowd. This is an older this is not live, folks. We just wanted to put these here for a second till we find out what in the world's going on. A lot of people are playing a lot of feeds, but it does seem like the feeds that they're playing are older situations. Let me look here one more time and see if we find anything of what happened. The AP is done. The other media outlets with their with their choppers took off. Yeah, crazy out there, folks. So bottom line is please be safe out there. And a dispersal order was given. I do think that I can't tell if the situation, because we signed off yesterday saying the situation looked like they were dispersing, and then it got lit. And now it seems like, let me just go here. All right, we got something else, Magnolia. Here, I'm sending you over. We got a new feed up by Fox. Give us a second, folks. We got them marching down the street. New feed up, coming in. Stay with us. A new feed up by Fox. All right. So they were just showing the crowd. And here we are. People are still in the streets. They're still in the streets in Los Angeles. We are live. Looks like they're going to probably go in this middle of this intersection. It's a crowd. It's a good crowd, but it definitely has scattered all in different angles, in different parts of the city, downtown. And here they go. They're going to take over the street corner. People riding around with bikes. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Still going on, folks. Still going on. Do they stay in that intersection? Nope, they're moving. They're moving slow. They want to take over the intersection. Unbelievable. Where are they going now? They're marching down the street. They've marched down the street. They're in the traffic again. They're walking. They're walking between cars now. I mean, they called it an unlawful assembly, but it doesn't seem like police are following these people around. The choppers are giving us a perspective. Where did that group go? Where'd that group go? But you could see all types of lights and flashing and police all over the place down there. It seems like they're on the right there. Here we go. What we got? Is that the jail? Dude, that looks like jail, like a downtown detention center. Does anyone know what that is? Is that a jail? Is that the jail? Okay, the jail. Yeah, it looked like it just based off the windows, the little thin windows. All right, so yeah, they're still in the streets, folks. Live. Los Angeles, California, JLR investigates. Yep. In the streets. Wow. This crowd could grow. This crowd could unite. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. All right, at this point, I've counted. There's about 100, probably at this point. Maybe 100. They definitely have cars with them, sympathizers. You can see the cars come through the top of the screen. They're waving flags out the window, hanging out of the sunroof. Where does this crowd go? As we watch what's going on in real time. JLR investigates. Got the bikes that lead the march. Yeah, we're going to follow this. The AP went back up too, Magnolia. We're going to follow this, though. See what happens here. Yeah, absolutely wild. Another large protest. Second day in a row. Los Angeles. All right, what's this crowd going to do? Now where are they going? They're going back. They're looping back. Where do they expect to go? What are they doing here? Where's this crowd expect to go? It's really loosey. See, you got some people there breaking off to the left. Could be getting more thinner and thinner. People are just realizing, coming to their senses, saying, I mean, there's no point of this, but you still got people out there waving flags in the middle of the street, blocking traffic. Do they meet with that other? See, they're going right back to where the police are. There's still people there. There's still people there. It's still going on, folks. Unbelievable. An unlawful assembly has been declared. You see blue lights of law enforcement all over the place downtown, and you got groups walking around the streets. Unclear where they're going to go here. I think they went right around the jail. Could that be a protest in reference to people that are in detention? These
Find the lowest priced health plans at healthforcalifornia.com. Get a quote in 30 seconds. Find top carriers like Anthem, Kaiser, Blue.
from the mayor. Why? During those California wildfires, after the mayor returned back from a trip from Ghana, she would give regularly press conferences, but not a peep about this. Is this just they're not going to talk about it? They feel this is okay? It's okay to disperse, have law enforcement declare unlawful assemblies and disperse crowds, and that's the mayor's not going to address this? The mayor thinks this is just normal. I mean, look how many law enforcement is there. Look at the resources here. Look at the people that are stuck in traffic. The people just blocking intersections. We're just going to block intersections. Wave flags and signs and block intersections. Not a peep from local officials about this. Look, there's people in trucks and cars waving flags. It's groups. It's large groups. That as the night falls, it could get bigger, could get less, could get bigger. It's a pretty big crowd there. It's almost like anarchy. Almost. Almost. I mean, there's so many people weaving through traffic here. The traffic's almost like at a standstill because, look, there's people running in bikes, motorbikes. To these crowds. Yeah, there's police around, but and who knows what we're seeing. Like, there was another one. Yeah, maybe they'll share the other location of the other group. There was another group walking somewhere. That's East Cesar Chavez. Do we got volume to this, Magnolia? What is going on here on the interstate? They got people in the highway? What in the world's going on here? Yes. They've taken over. Oh, they're walking on the highway. They're going back up on the highway. Look at that. That's crazy. There's a bunch of people on the highway. So this is scattered all over the place. There's new look, police are coming. They literally taken the highway. What is going on down there in that building? Dude, LAPD needs to get their act together here and start squashing this quickly. You allowed this to go on too long. There's something going on in that building there, too. There's a lot of activity in those trees down there in the building. It looks like maybe like an apartment complex. They got the highway blocked off. Here, look at this. Yeah, they don't have sound to the feed, so. Okay, so they're scattering in neighborhoods right along the, I think that's the 101. Wow, folks. Now the police are moving again. Why don't the police go around and get on the road there and get down there by those buildings? Traffic is a complete standstill. They got that whole area blocked off and people stuck. Unbelievable. Look, see what I mean? All right, so what are they doing? They moving now? Oh, they're moving traffic now. They blocked. I have to say that's the 101. They're all in there. See, they all went in the road and then they went off the road. I don't know what's going on here. That is crazy, folks. Crazy. Las Vegas Street. All right, it's back open. Looks like they got law enforcement on that ramp standing there. Now, where's this other group at? What happened to them? I like how they got this new technology. They're able to determine what the street names are from the sky. We went to an end. Do we got the okay. It looks like this thing might be, hold, give me 1 second. Let me just see for sure what we got. The other feeds are like repeats. So I think that's us. That's going to be it for us. If anything else breaks off or something crazy happens, another feed that jumps off will come back. Stay safe out there, my friends. JLR Investigates. Thanks for watching this particular segment. We'll talk soon. Have a good day, everyone.